Are sleepless nights leaving you exhausted? You're not alone. Millions of parents around the world struggle with toddlers who refuse to sleep. By the age of 2, nearly 40% of toddlers experience irregular sleep patterns. And in most cases, inconsistent routines are the real reason behind these sleepless nights. Science shows this isn't stubborn behavior. It's biology. Your toddler's circadian rhythm, the internal body clock, is still developing. Melatonin production is immature, and their nervous system is highly sensitive to light, noise, and emotional changes. So when bedtime becomes unpredictable, their brain simply doesn't know when to switch off. You try everything: lullabies, rocking, extra snacks, longer bedtime routines. But the harder you push, the more resistant your toddler becomes. Because sleep cannot be forced, it has to be supported. In this video, we'll break down research-backed strategies that help your toddler sleep peacefully and naturally, without stress, guilt, or endless battles. Toddlers' sleep struggles are one of the most misunderstood challenges in early parenting. Many parents believe their child is being stubborn, overly dependent, or difficult on purpose. But modern neuroscience tells us a very different story. Between the ages of 1 and 3, a child's brain is undergoing one of the fastest periods of growth it will ever experience. Neural connections are forming at an extraordinary rate, especially in areas responsible for emotion regulation, sensory processing, and biological rhythms. Sleep, at this stage, is not just rest. It is an active neurological process essential for brain development, emotional balance, immune strength, and learning. When a toddler doesn't sleep well, it is rarely a behavioral issue. It is almost always a biological signal that something in their internal system is out of balance. One of the most critical systems developing during this phase is the circadian rhythm. This internal clock regulates sleep, wakefulness, hormone release, digestion, and body temperature. In adults, the circadian rhythm is stable and predictable. In toddlers, it is still under construction. This means their brains are learning when to release melatonin, the hormone that signals the body it is time to sleep. Any disruption in routine, light exposure, or emotional state can delay or suppress melatonin production. This is why a toddler may appear exhausted, rub their eyes, yawn repeatedly, and still resist sleep. Their body is tired, but their brain has not received the chemical signal to shut down. Research from pediatric sleep laboratories shows that inconsistent bedtimes are one of the strongest predictors of sleep resistance in toddlers. When bedtime shifts even by 30 minutes each night, the brain struggles to predict when sleep should occur. Predictability is safety for a toddler's nervous system. When routines change frequently, the brain remains alert, waiting for new input instead of preparing for rest. Another major factor influencing sleep is sensory sensitivity. Toddlers process sensory information far more intensely than adults. Sounds that seem insignificant to us, changes in light, textures of bedding, even subtle room temperature shifts can overstimulate their nervous system. An overstimulated nervous system cannot transition smoothly into sleep. Instead, it activates the fight or flight response, leading to restlessness, crying, and resistance. This is why simply placing a toddler in bed and expecting them to fall asleep rarely works. Their brain must first feel safe, calm, and regulated. One of the most effective ways to achieve this is through a consistent bedtime routine. Not a rushed routine, not an occasional routine, but a predictable sequence repeated every single night. Studies published by the National Sleep Foundation show that toddlers who follow a consistent bedtime routine fall asleep faster and wake up less frequently during the night. In some cases, sleep onset improved by up to 50% within 2 weeks. The routine itself does not need to be complex. What matters is repetition. A warm bath lowers core body temperature afterward, which naturally induces sleepiness. A short story calms cognitive activity and shifts attention inward. Dim lighting reduces sensory input and supports melatonin release. When these steps occur in the same order every night, the brain begins to associate them with sleep. Over time, the routine itself triggers a relaxation response. Light exposure is another critical element often overlooked. Modern homes are filled with artificial lighting far brighter than what human biology evolved with. Research from Harvard Medical School confirms that exposure to bright light in the evening suppresses melatonin production, even in young children. Screens are especially disruptive. The blue wavelength emitted by tablets, phones, and televisions directly interferes with the brain's sleep signals. Even short screen exposure within 1 hour of bedtime can delay sleep onset significantly. For toddlers, whose brains are more sensitive, the effect is even stronger. Dimming lights in the evening sends a powerful signal to the brain that night has arrived. Warm, low lighting helps the nervous system slow down naturally. Nutrition also plays a surprisingly important role in toddler sleep. Blood sugar fluctuations during the night can cause sudden awakenings and restlessness. High sugar snacks before bed create spikes, followed by drops in blood sugar, which activate stress hormones like cortisol. Cortisol is the opposite of melatonin. It keeps the brain alert and ready for action. A small, balanced snack before bedtime can stabilize blood sugar levels. Protein and complex carbohydrates support steady energy release and reduce nighttime wake-ups. Hydration matters as well. Dehydration can cause discomfort, dry mouth, and restless movement during sleep. The sleep environment itself should be designed for regulation, not stimulation. Bright colors, clutter, and excessive visual input keep the brain active. A calm sleep space with neutral colors, soft textures, and minimal distractions allows the nervous system to relax. White noise has been shown to improve sleep continuity in young children. It masks sudden environmental sounds and provides a consistent auditory background. Consistency is the key word in every effective sleep strategy. But consistency does not mean rigidity. It means predictability with emotional flexibility. Toddlers thrive when they know what to expect, but they also need emotional reassurance. Abrupt transitions, rushed routines, or emotionally tense environments create resistance. Parental stress plays a significant role in toddler sleep behavior. Neuroscience research shows that children are highly attuned to their caregivers' emotional states. When a parent is anxious, frustrated, or overwhelmed, the child's nervous system mirrors that energy. This is not conscious imitation. It is biological co-regulation. A calm voice, slow movements, and relaxed breathing communicate safety to a toddler's brain. Safety is the foundation of sleep. Positive reinforcement is another scientifically supported strategy. Toddlers repeat behaviors that receive attention and emotional energy. When calm bedtime behavior is acknowledged with gentle praise, it becomes more likely to occur again. When tantrums receive strong emotional reactions, even negative ones, they can become reinforced. This does not mean ignoring your child. It means responding with calm neutrality rather than heightened emotion. Research in behavioral psychology confirms that emotional consistency reduces resistance and improves compliance over time. Night awakenings are also developmentally normal. Toddlers cycle through light and deep sleep multiple times each night. The difference between a child who returns to sleep easily and one who fully wakes up often lies in self-soothing skills. Self-soothing is not learned through isolation. It is learned through repeated experiences of safety and regulation. When a toddler falls asleep in a calm environment, they are more likely to transition between sleep cycles smoothly. Over time, their nervous system learns that nighttime awakenings are safe and temporary. It is important to understand that sleep improvement is not instant. Biological systems require repetition to adapt. Most research-based sleep interventions show noticeable improvement within 10 to 14 days of consistent practice. Progress may not be linear. There may be setbacks during growth spurts, illness, or developmental leaps. This does not mean the strategy is failing. It means the brain is adapting to new demands. Sleep struggles are not a reflection of parenting ability. They are a reflection of a developing nervous system learning how to regulate itself. When approached with patience, science, and empathy, sleep becomes a skill rather than a battle. Parents often underestimate the long-term impact of healthy sleep habits. Quality sleep in early childhood is associated with improved emotional regulation, attention span, immune function, and learning ability later in life. Studies from pediatric research institutions show that toddlers who establish consistent sleep routines demonstrate better stress resilience and cognitive flexibility as they grow. Sleep is not a luxury, It is